going on, everybody? Welcome to the RBS Cinema Podcast.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
This is Sparta! I'm thinking I'm back.
Why so serious?
Avengers!
Assemble. I'm Batman. You better lawyer up, asshole. Because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
I'll be back.
You shall not pass!
RBS.
Lovely.
Welcome, everybody, to RBS Cinema. I'm your host, Devin, and with me I have returning guest / co-host, Jack. And today we decided to talk about Akira. And
Akira.
And leave me alone.
Leave me alone!
And reason being that we are talking about Akira is because it is anime month. So it is May. And
It is AniMay.
yeah, it is anime month. So throughout the whole month of May, we're talking about anime-based movies. Not series, but movies specific. And we got some stuff in the works. Andy will come back. So he wants to talk about a movie that I suggested for him. And it's a movie that we both haven't seen. I don't know if you've seen it either, but we'll talk about that off screen. Leave that as a surprise for people. But yes, thank you all so much for joining us. So I actually decided to talk about Akira because it wasn't my first anime movie that I watched, but it's still a really good movie. I have the steelbook, obviously. It's a pretty cool steelbook, I will say, because on the back side it has Tetsuo on the back with the cityscape on the side of him, so it's pretty cool. But no, I thought it was a really good starting point movie to talk about for the month. Gonna have some other stuff to talk about as well. So, and if you guys aren't aware of this, but this will be a actual episode to talk about. The first one that I'm gonna put out will fall earlier in the week.
So that was a fucking lie.
So that will be like a bonus episode for the week. Which, if you guys haven't seen it, go check out Hundreds of Beavers that we talked about. We just got done talking about this, or talking about that before this. So,
This is our dedication to you, the fans, that we're pulling our first ever double feature episode.
yes, we're
Well,
doing
this is
a
not gonna be all
double
one
feature.
episode,
No,
but,
it's
like,
not all one episode.
It's gonna
It's
be
two separate.
It's gonna be two like back to back for us, but for you guys it'll be like a couple days apart.
So that was a fucking lie.
So
Yeah. So,
based on how he gets it out. So
yeah. Which, shout out to my wife, my guys, because she's the one that actually had the idea to do this in the first place. She goes like, why don't you guys have a double feature, which I call double feachies, of both Hundreds of Beavers, because it's something that you wanted to talk about, and then have Akira, because
did wanna
that'll
talk
be,
about Hundreds of
by the time
Beavers.
this comes out, it'll be the first weekend, which I think will be the 2nd of May. And that's when we're going to pop off anime month. So,
yeah, you can just call it anime.
yeah. Well, yeah, I know.
Anime. But
So-
but it's May, like how May is spelled.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
It's-
Isn't that so clever, guys?
Yeah. So, but yes, thank you for joining us for anime month. And we will
Talking about
kick off with Akira.
Akira. So full disclosure, I went into this movie completely blind.
So you've never seen this?
I've never seen Akira.
This is gonna
I've
be
never. I've only heard that it's referenced so much.
Yes,
but I had
it's
no idea what it
big
was
on
about.
pop
and I don't-
culture, which we'll get to, but yes.
Like I had no idea why this movie was so popular. I just knew it was an anime. It was a Japanese animated film from the 80s.
Yes. I think it was like
that
88.
It's like everyone talks about the Akira slide, which is it was referenced in
Everything.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on Shadow's bike. He does the Akira slide. Just like, oh yes, this one reference that I have not seen the movie for.
And everybody goes ham for that too. Like,
Yeah.
not just Sonic or Akira, but the whole bike slide is big in pop culture.
Yeah,
Like,
this.
Everybody does it. Like, not just like in animation either. Like
Yeah.
in live action, people do it too.
Yeah,
And I'm
because
like,
it's cool.
they make it cool.
Because this is also not my first like animated film. I think if we're talking about like what my first one was, it was probably one of the Pokemon films.
Yeah.
Just because it was
A lot of people don't consider Pokemon as anime, but technically it is.
It is. It follows the
So-
same type. It's a Japanese animation company that makes the films, so it's an anime.
And then we get it here in the States, and it's
Has it
anime.
been heavily Americanized? Absolutely.
100%.
Yes. Pokemon is not necessarily
And
belonging
you
to
think
Japan
that
anymore.
Pokemon is big here? It's bigger in Japan.
It is, but like most people don't like. But yet at the same time, people don't recognize it as an anime because it's mostly for kids.
Yeah.
And it's based off of a video game,
Right.
so it's not really that doesn't really follow the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Like that goes for anything that's Japanese. Like if you
I
think
mean,
it's
honestly,
big here, then like it's it
It's
follows the
probably
same
like
rule-
double the size,
size
over there. So
like things like Monster Hunter
Yeah.
is also like crazy in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, but like, yeah, I just heard lots of really good things about this film, but I had never seen it before. So I went in completely blind, and which is funny because we were talking about this before the podcast starts. Like our method of viewing this video was also different.
Yeah.
See, Devin watched it in the dub, and I watched it in the sub. So I watched it in Japanese,
Yeah.
and I also watched it on Crunchyroll at the time, which my viewing experience was significantly hampered because for some reason Crunchyroll on Roku has this weird audio visual desync issue.
Yeah.
So I watch a visual, and all of a sudden it would like speed forward a little bit.
Right.
And then I would also hear the audio be delayed, even though the subtitles were seemingly working fine. So there might be some things that I missed because of that, but for the most part, I sort of stuck with it because I needed to finish watching it because I literally
Right.
watched it like an hour before I came over. I finished watching an hour before I came here. So
yeah. Which you wouldn't know this, but I heard like forever ago about like how, because this is based off of like the manga,
yes,
and the manga I think is like broken up into 3 different parts.
isn't it like 1,000
believe.
chapters?
Think so.
Yeah.
So, and like you can buy like the big huge like special editions of
Yeah.
Akira and stuff, kind of like Berserk, where
Yeah.
they have like the super thick like deluxe editions and stuff. But this movie only does the first 2 volumes of the whole series.
So there's more.
Yeah,
And they
because
just
like
never
of
made-
course
they
like
just
with
never made more. They never made like
No.
Akira 2.
no, because like I was reading about this because I remembered that of it being like based about like the manga, but I didn't know how much of it is. So like they took very heavily into like the first 2 volumes of the manga, but the rest of it, like the rest of the movie, is like taking bits and pieces from the rest of the series.
Yeah.
So there, and like the more that I was reading about it was like it was also at the same time being made for manga. So
it was the movie was being produced
Yes.
at the same time that the manga was coming out.
yes,
Interesting.
because the creator being Katsuro Otomo, he directed it and wrote it, but he was also the one that did the manga also, because he wanted creative control over the movie. And originally he wasn't going to do the movie, but then he goes like, well, I want creative control if I'm going to have to do the movie. They're like, okay, we'll do that. So then he was all like, okay, like I can summarize the manga this way. And then that's what he decided to do. So, Which, speaking of, for those of you that don't know what Akira is actually about, it is a secret military project endangers Neo-Tokyo when it turns a biker gang member into a rampaging psychic psychopath who can only be stopped by a teenager, his gang of biker friends, and a group of psychics. That is bare bones of what it is.
It's just like,
So-
when I say that I went into this movie completely blind, all I know about Akira was just the visuals of Kaneda and his bike.
Yeah.
Right? That's all that I thought like going to this, like I thought the guy with the motorcycle, I thought his name was Akira.
Right.
I thought that was Akira.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, okay, when's Akira gonna show up? Wait, is one of these
Who's
guys?
who's Akira?
Who's Akira? Because like you just assume that that Akira is about the guy on the bike, because that's most of the posters have just
Him
Kaneda on the bike.
Yeah.
But like it's not even really about Kaneda.
Right.
For most of it.
I think it's pronounced Kaneda. No.
Or Kaneda.
No, yeah, Kaneda. That's what it is.
Sorry.
And I also fucked up. That's not Tetsuo. I have the list up, but that's not Tetsuo. That's Kaneda.
Kaneda. Yeah.
My bad. That's my bad. Don't shoot me down.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of mispronunciations in this, but like I'm sorry, this is my first time
like
watching the film.
there's like two different lists of people that I would talk about for the voice acting. There's the Japanese version and then there's the American version. But the American version has two different versions of people that play these characters.
So again, it's going to be very different. Like
because like there's the dub that came out in 91, and then there's the dub that I think came out in 95, 99. I think it's 99.
And then I watched the original 1988 version, the
Yeah.
Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
So our critiques on vocal performance are going to be severely skewed. I think
Yes.
if we do decide to talk about that.
Right. And like I'm only gonna mention a few of the top people that are in this movie, so not everybody gets a shot. So,
Are there any people on the English voice cast that are significant, or are they all just like older voice actor? Like they're probably not like. It doesn't even list the English voice actors.
not on IMDb. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure if I scroll like all the way down, it
Yeah, 'cause
will.
this-
But
this
like
is-
I have a
this is-
separate list
This
up
is
for
back
the
in the
English.
80s,
So
like I don't know any of these people.
yeah, but for the English voice actors, there are some that are synonymous. So, which speaking of, like I mentioned, that Katsuro Otomo is co-writer, but we also have his other co-writer, Izo Hashimoto. So they also wrote it at the same time. But we got stars for the Japanese voice cast is Mitsuo Iwata, who plays as Kaneda, Natsumo Sasaki, who plays as Tetsuo, got Mami Koyama, who plays as Kai, Tesho Genda, who plays as Ryu, or Ryu. I think it's Ryu.
Ryu, yeah.
So just for them to be as like big people.
And again, sorry if we butcher these pronunciations.
Yes, they are Japanese, and we are dumb Americans. So please excuse us.
We are not only dumb Americans, we're dumb Midwestern Americans.
Yes.
It's
Well,
like
speak for yourself. I'm not from the Midwest, so.
Okay, but we're currently in the Midwest.
Yes, we are. But yes, please excuse us the mispronunciations. So here we've got the English voice actors. So we got Johnny Yon Bosch makes his return.
Really?
Yes, first
Oh
time.
man, now I regret not watching the dub.
Yes, but this is like the 2001 Pioneer version is what's called.
Oh, okay.
So, which they haven't redubbed it since. Because like I mentioned earlier, there's only 2 dubbings for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The one that came out was 89, which is by Streamline Pictures. And then this one that I watched was the Pioneer version back in 2001. So, but yeah, Johnny Yon Bosch, who, if you guys remember, we talked about first was in Power Rangers.
It's morphin' time! Mastodon!
So, there's that.
Also voices Nero in DMC5. Also voices Broly in
Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Superhero.
Not superhero, but Broly.
No. it was still Vic Mignogna.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, you're right. You're right.
Until
Yeah,
he found out he
yeah.
was some weird sex guy,
Yeah.
criminal. And
Well, allegedly.
they replaced him with John Young Bosch
Yes.
in
True. Going forward. But
Superhero, and he was also in Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yes.
As-
Well, they
as
replaced all of Vic Mignogna's voices with Johnny on Bosch's, because even when I was playing Dragon Ball Legends on mobile, like
I just know
stuff.
those are the two ones that I recognize.
Yeah.
That I know from for
Right.
sure. So
And then, but yeah, Johnny on Bosch places Kaneda, Joshua Seth, who plays as Tetsuo, and we got Wendy Lee, who plays as Kai. And then pretty much like those are the top 3 people that are in the...
But the 3 main characters. So.
Yeah, so... And then the rest of it is just like a bunch of other stuff. So...
Voice acting roles.
Yeah. But I do have taglines for this one compared to the last one. So, first one we got up is Signal Traced to Tokyo. Don't really know what all
I don't know what that
about.
reference is to.
A state-of-the-art adventure, which I would have to say. It is state-of-the-art adventure. For the time, at least. And then we got 38 years after World War III. So that is the time between when World War III starts and then when this movie actually takes place. 2019, this is basically just like me reading about this, is just like the first part of the movie. It's like 2019, Neo Tokyo, a never-ending puzzle begins. The trump card is top secret. Film to be treated as hazardous material. So
that's it. That's the tagline.
That's the tagline.
Tells me absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that I had no idea about what happens in this movie going into it.
Yeah.
When even the taglines are like, yeah, it's in the future.
Right.
It's in 2019.
Yeah.
I bet people went crazy back in 2019. It's like, oh my god, this is the year that Akira happened in.
But yet none of this stuff happened.
It's like when you're going back and you're looking at like when Terminator comes out. It's like because isn't it in like 2030 or is it like in 2012?
It's 2030.
2030, yeah. So it's like when 2030, like, or also when Back to the Future time came out. I was like, hey guys, it's the Back to the Future year.
Yeah, it was like 2012 that we were supposed to get like self-lacing shoes. We were supposed to get hoverboards, which I guess technically we got hoverboards. No,
we didn't.
But that's not the hoverboards that we were talking about.
No, that is not the ones we were promised.
It still has wheels. It's not a hoverboard if it has wheels.
Like, we're already past like events of like what happened in like Call of Duty Black Ops 2 at this point.
Yeah.
Like seeing how things age when it's like, oh, this is what the future's going to look like in
20, 30 years,
31 years. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah. No.
It's definitely not what happens. 80s people were weird.
Yeah. But this one I actually really liked was the definitive science fiction masterpiece. This is an unmissable anime classic. It's not really a tagline, but
it's more of like a
tagline for like a trailer.
Onto a poster,
yeah, it's basically like a trailer or something.
Yeah.
Martial law declared. Exploding Energy, the year's #1 most dangerous film. Again, probably just for the trailer.
I would kind of...
Well, quote unquote, most dangerous film.
I would kind of... Well, yeah, but like, it's definitely up there for danger.
This is kind of a long one, so buckle up.
Yeah.
2019, the year before the Neo Tokyo Olympic Games. What did the boys see that night? What is the ultra top secret project slumbering underground? The year's most controversial film has arrived.
Controversial?
Yeah.
Was it controversial?
No.
When it came out? Like,
I don't know.
Controversial.
Like, I was reading up on this, but like apparently back in 2021, in Russia, they banned this movie, as well as like a bunch of other stuff.
Well, yeah, it kind of has people like dying in the streets.
Yeah.
So
it's to basically reason why it was banned is because that like for younger audiences that would watch this movie. So.
Yeah, because it kind of has these like rebellious ideals.
Yeah, it's rebellion and like the way that Tetsuo
standing up against imperialists.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. And then you got the second to last one. Neo Tokyo is about to explode, but EXPLODE, pretty much as a acronym.
Is that supposed to stand for something? Like,
I guess.
Like, these taglines are certainly interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess like you have ones like from Terminator, which are very succinct, and these ones are like the tagline tells me nothing.
Yeah.
I'm still confused.
Right.
Going to the anyone who reads these taglines is still going to be going into the movie blind.
Right. And the last one I got is the end of the world has only the beginning. Was only the beginning.
Vague sci-fi theme there, certainly.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like I'm nitpicking. Like this makes it sound like I'm not a fan of this film, and
right.
That's not the case, as we'll discuss. But just like sometimes IMDb's taglines page sort of confuses me. This is certainly one of those times.
Right. Because like pretty much what the whole movie is about not even talk about the synopsis like that I read on IMDb, but like it's more about like these two street gangs. They're fighting each other, and there's also like a rebellion that's happening too, that these people are worshiping this person called Akira, but you don't really know who he is or what he's about.
Well, that doesn't happen quite yet. That happens near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But
the two biker gangs, they're going at each other, and then they are in the middle of a government top secret thing that happens, because there's this guy that's like running around with this kid who is supposed to be a kid.
Does not look like a kid.
No, because like there's these three kids that are in the movie, but they're all wrinkled and stuff, so they look like old people.
They're
but
gross.
they're
kind of like zombies almost.
Yeah, because they're all blue and stuff, and they've got white hair and everything.
Yeah.
So like it's pretty weird. But that's where this whole movie kicks off, is like with the kid Tetsuo. He's like riding his bike and he's trying to get one of the clowns, and then he runs into the kid and who has telekinetic powers.
Yeah.
And then he, I don't know how, but like he has the telekinetic powers after this.
See, I missed that too, because again, I was struggling my audio visual desync thing.
Yeah.
So I missed that part. So I was hoping that you didn't miss that part, so you could tell me what happened.
I didn't.
I don't remember what exactly happened, but like he runs into him and then he gets injured, right?
Yeah.
Like after he sees the kid.
Yeah.
And his name is Takashi, by the way. Not like.
Oh, the kid.
Or is it Takashi or is it Takahashi? One of those two.
One of those two. I don't know.
I think it's Takashi. But yeah, because the kid is like running through this, like he's escaping from a facility with this older guy, and the older guy gets shot.
Yeah, he gets shot and killed by the police, not the military, by the police.
The police, because they're trying to control a riot, because this is like a new version of Tokyo, because the old one,
it's
like in the opening
Neo
scene,
Tokyo, because of the fact, like I have it written down that like back in 1988, World War III happened.
It's July 16th, 1988.
Yeah. So World War III breaks out, and then it's another, like, I don't know, call it like a nuclear blast that happens.
Yeah,
pretty much.
We just see like a big white
explosion.
flash, basically.
Yeah, it's like a big, huge explosion. So one could say it's another World War II situation where they get bombed again. But it's in Tokyo this time, not Hiroshima.
Because of course it has to be in Tokyo.
Right. And then we cut to now 2019.
Yes, 31 years later.
Neo Tokyo, where it's like a futuristic Tokyo, where it's like not flying cars, but people have like more scientific advancements and stuff.
Yeah, and the does not feel super scientific.
It doesn't.
It's essentially. I hate to make this reference because Akira was first, but like if you ever played Cyberpunk 2077, right?
Yes.
That's what Akira looks like for people who have not seen Akira. Akira is a big inspiration for Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
yes,
because it's like it's got technological advancements, not enough to like body modification.
But there's also
but
big poverty, right? Like the kids the teenagers are going to school, and the school is filthy, disgusting. Like the classrooms are all covered in graffiti. And
it's still kind of like the feel of like 1980s. kind of.
I guess,
where it's
but,
like street gangs and street wars and stuff like that. And there's graffiti everywhere, and like the police can't get a handle on everything.
And the police are also dealing with these rioters who are, funnily enough, rioting because there's been like new tax reforms that are like kind of screwing people over right now, which is very very culturally appropriate to what's happening right now with our current economic state. Might be heading towards a recession by the time of recording this podcast.
I know, I was going to say by the end of this.
So it certainly hit a little differently now in 2019. Like, hey, I think that was happening back in 2019 at one point, around that time, like people rioting in the street and people like protesting and stuff like that. Like that's very it's close to home.
Yeah.
Not here, but like in the United States at least.
Yeah.
So it's in the middle of this riot, and the kid's guardian gets shot by the police, and before he runs off, he puts out a psychic blast.
Well,
and, crumbles the buildings.
Yeah, because he sees that the guy dies, and then he has an emotional connection with his power, so that everything explodes. But while all of this is happening, you've got the two street war gangs happening.
The opening scene of this film is really good because it's all on a motorcycle. I mean, I assume that it looks good. If I'll let you talk about a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the visual effects to this movie is actually done really, really well. If you would have seen it, then it would have been better.
The animation is very advanced for 1980s.
Yeah, the animation is really clean. It's really good. You can definitely tell it's from the 80s because it is grainy and stuff.
Yes.
But even with this is the 4K version that I have. I didn't watch it off the DVD. I streamed it from when I bought it like a month ago or so. But I might have to rewatch it on the 4K just to see how it is for visually. But other than that, it's like, okay. No, like, and it still holds up. Like, it's still a really good movie.
Yeah.
And, like, which we'll get to later on, but, like, I was watching the movie and I was looking at, like, getting stuff prepared for the episode, and I was just like, okay, like, after our consensus, we'll do suggestive people, which I will go into IMDb, and I will look at reviews that people will leave. And for that, I was, like, seeing some people going, like, oh, like, it wasn't that great, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is still revolutionary, even by today. Like, by the story, the execution of it, the way that it has, like, body horror at the end. Like, it's crazy. But but like we'll get to the ending, but like the huge synonymous thing about this movie is the bike slide, because like in the middle of these gang wars, Takashi, not Takashi, I'm drawing a blank on his name now.
Takeda.
Takeda. Right? No.
Who are we talking about?
Hold on.
The guy with
Kaneda.
Kaneda.
Sorry, I had his name pulled up and I was mispronouncing it. But,
okay, cut me some slack because it's the first time I've seen the movie and I watched it in Japanese.
This is like maybe the third time I've seen this in my life.
This movie is a 2-hour runtime, by the way. Which
it is.
Which back then, if like a 1980s film that is in a foreign language, if you're watching this in Japanese, is it really. It's I won't say it's a slog, but like watching anime for 2 hours at a time, you start to lose focus at some point.
Right.
You start to lose track of who people are if you're not hearing it in your native language and leaving it off of subtitles. At least that was my experience. So again, I apologize if I mess up pronunciations of names or I forget who characters are, because I literally saw this movie about a couple hours before I came over here to record this podcast.
Right.
So
so we got Taneda and Tetsuo. They're in the same gang, and so like they're going after these clowns, which is another street gang. And then when Taneda needs to turn around, he does the bike slide.
Kaneda.
Yeah.
You said Taneda.
Oh, I think I have it written down wrong then.
Oh.
Hold on.
Kaneda.
Yeah, Kaneda. Yeah, that's what it is. Not Taneda. Kaneda.
He does. Yeah, so the bike slide.
Yeah, the bike slide is, after this movie gained its popularity, now everybody does the bike slide. in everything. And it's awesome when you see it because it's like big, huge, not even just anime, but it's in cartoons, it's in movies, it's in video games, it's in comic books. Like after this initial thing, it has been revolutionized.
It's one of the most like it's the thing that's most referenced about this film.
Yes,
right,
100%. And as well as like, which I have it also written down, is when Tetsuo has his freak out.
Yes, because that became a big meme.
More recently on TikTok.
More recently, definitely. But like, you should probably put in an edit of the bike slide.
Oh yeah, I definitely will.
Like, yeah. So
yeah, and I'll put it in here. So
yeah, but yeah, like that's the thing that I know about going to this film. I wasn't like that's the one thing I knew happened. This was there's some sort of cool bike slide or something that's like Kanada's bike is so cool.
Oh yeah,
it's like
it's
it
blows
every other bike out of the water.
And he made it by hand too. Like he made it specifically for him.
Yeah.
So even later on in the movie where Tetsuo he tries to ride it, he doesn't know how to ride
how the bike works.
And then he starts to actually understand. He goes like, oh, okay, like it can only go like this amount. I think it's like
5,000 RPMs.
Yeah. 5,000 RPMs, and if it's anything lower than that, then it starts to actually die. So,
I think, is it safe to assume that like a majority of people who probably bought a motorcycle probably bought it because they watched Akira, and they not like a majority of people, but like there are some people out there who the main reason that they bought a motorcycle in the first place is because they saw Akira do the slide and they're like, that's cool, I want to do that, and then they get a motorcycle. Okay,
maybe
that's not how motorcycle works.
Maybe younger people, yeah, but
I don't know, cut me some slack. I mean, if I saw that, I'd be like, man, that's cool, I want to learn how to motorcycle, if I was a kid watching this film,
right,
which really you shouldn't be. This movie should be rated R, personally. I
think it is, isn't it?
If it's not, it should be.
Yeah,
because it.
I don't know if it is. I don't remember.
The movie is very graphic.
Yeah, I mean, like I have it
more
pulled
than
up
I was expecting
here,
it to be.
Yeah,
for a movie in the '80s, an animated film.
Yeah, it is rated R. Yep.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then after he does the bike slide, then Tetsuo he's trying to catch up to one of the clown gang members. And then there's the kid that is walking in the middle of the highway. And then before he crashes into him, the kid stops him with his psychic powers.
Oh, that's what happens. Okay. Oh, yeah.
And
I totally missed that part.
Yeah. And then Tetsuo's fine, but I don't know how he got the kinetic abilities.
No, he gets injured because he falls off his motorcycle.
Right.
Like he's not dead, but
he's
also
injured.
Not, like, fine.
But then the army comes in, and then they are under arrest.
I think it's just because he hit him with the psychic blast. Like he hit the person physically. Because
I don't think so. Because like later on in the movie, they say that like the girl tells Kaneda about
Kyoko.
Yeah,
Kyoko the girl.
Yeah, Kyoko tells Kaneda later on in the movie that like, oh yeah, like you have these abilities hidden in your DNA, but it's just a matter of how long it's going to take for you to actually control it and unlock it and stuff.
So I think what I think happened is that when Takashi hits Tetsuo with the psychic blast, that's his taste of what psychic power feels like.
Yeah.
And he's starting to awaken a little bit because he's also put into a bunch of machines.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Like he's ran by tests by the military and stuff.
That might have helped accelerate it a little bit.
Maybe.
But like because that's my theory, because otherwise the other explanations just came out of nowhere, which is like not good.
Yeah.
And then like now all of a sudden he has psychic powers.
Yeah, because then they're being interrogated by them and stuff, and then they go to school, and for like one scene they're at school, and they've all got girlfriends and stuff, which is hilarious. But like the fact that I think it was like the principal or someone, or like the gym teacher or somebody, like punches all of them in their head.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline!
Which I had that written down, that's why I mentioned it. But like then after they leave, they're like riding around on their motorcycles, and Tetsuo shows back up, but because he ends up taking Kaneda's bike.
Yeah, because he takes a
and with his girlfriend.
Kaori.
Yeah, and they're rolling down the street, and then they start slowing down because he finally realizes that like, okay, like this is the reason why we're stopping.
But as they're driving, they some of the other clown gang members see the red bike, and so they goes to chase after him.
And then they beat the shit out of him, and then they beat the shit out of his girlfriend.
They do more than beat the shit out of her.
I know.
But I don't think we should mention that.
No.
They do one very graphic thing that we shouldn't probably mention on the show.
Yeah.
But they do that.
Which was it? So did it cut for you because you watched it in Japanese?
Oh, it didn't show it for you in the English version?
No.
Oh,
so
no.
Basically, this is what I saw from my perspective, is that they ripped her shirt off, and then they punched her in the face, and then you see that, and then it cuts to them showing up.
No, so what in the original Japanese version, they rip her shirt off and you get to see her chest.
Yeah.
Right, and they punch her.
Yeah.
So so that gets shown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that,
like you still get to see her boobs and stuff.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's like I wonder if they censored that in the English.
No, I thought it was like that she got SA'd or something like that. And like
No. She did not get SA'd.
Okay.
No, they
show her boobs and that's it.
So that's it. Like she almost gets SA'd.
Right.
Right.
Because then they come showing up. I thought it was different that they actually SA'd her and stuff.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. But thankfully.
That's why I was mentioning.
Yeah.
No.
But they were going to, but then the other gang members show up, Kaneda and the rest of his friends. They come rushing up and then they start kicking the shit out of him.
What is interesting to me is that like they do all this shit to Kaori. And then the bike member, while they're holding Tetsuo down, he puts like a lit rag over the bike. He's like, "Don't you dare touch that bike!"
Yeah,
I was like, "Dude, your girlfriend almost got like SA'd, right?" It's like, and you're more worried about the bike.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably because that he holds more respect to the bike because it's Kaneda's bike and not like his. So
I don't know,
but I mean, like if you're in a motorcycle gang,
very weird to me.
In a motorcycle gang, you would hold your bike more, like higher up on your list of priorities versus like a girlfriend.
I guess
so. Because like a girl could be replaced, but not your bike, So that sort of mentality. So, but then you've got where he's like kicking the shit out of the one gang member that was about to like basically kill them and stuff and whatever, and then he starts having like his headaches and stuff.
Yeah, he has a headache, and then he goes.
We have this synonymous scene that was popular on TikTok for a few months, where it's all like he goes like, "Leave me alone," hand on the
wall, and he's like, "Leave me alone."
And then he goes, and then like the little girl goes like, "Akira," and he goes like, "Ah,
leave me alone!"
And like watching that clip out of context, you think that the guy having the headaches that's Akira,
right?
Because they're like screaming his name. It's like, "Akira, are you okay?" And it's like ah,
and then he starts screaming, and it's like that's not actually his name.
I love some of those memes. Yeah. Like that's the only scene that I've seen from Akira, but it's so out of context.
It is.
You have no idea what's
so
happening
funny.
in there. And again, you think the whole time like people who watch that clip thinking the guy holding his head is Akira.
Is Akira?
No, it's Tetsuo.
Yeah.
Like,
but I thought it was also interesting because like when that scene came on, because of the clip that they would use on TikTok is the different audio for this movie. Because this is the second dub. The first dub is the one that people would use on.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. So
you were watching. You were just like, okay, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?
No, I knew when it was gonna happen.
I know, but like, you were like,
but I was all like, wait. Why does it sound different?
That's what I mean. Is like you were like, oh yeah, here's the scene. Here it comes up, and it's like, wait, that sounds different. It's not the TikTok soundbite. It's not the TikTok stim.
So then I started doing research about like the different audio and stuff, and so that's when I discovered that it's dubbed twice.
And it does not sound like that in the sub.
No,
he does not make the same noises like that in the sub either. So I was doubly disappointed.
Yeah,
like I recognized, here's the thing on TikTok, and it's like He like doesn't even scream the same way. Really.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's like Leonardo DiCaprio goes like up, like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing that whole thing.
I mean, he kind of does it because he has like the whistle, like.
No, I'm not talking about that specifically.
Oh.
It's like when they say the name of the movie that you're watching.
Oh yeah.
It's like you point out, you're like up, look, they did the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
It's like there I am, Gary. There I am.
Yep. So it's like that.
It's the freaking Family Guy bit. It's just like
Yeah. He said the thing.
Yeah, he said it. He said it.
But then
So dumb.
he gets found out because like he left,
Uh-huh.
right? Tetsuo left. And then the military come back and then they like take him again. And when he's in his room, because now he's just like in a hospital room.
Yeah.
And like he's at the facility. And then you've got 3 kids that are messing with him for
Yeah,
some odd reason.
Yeah, why
like
are they
messing with
they're
him.
fucking with him for some
Yeah,
reason? You'd think
it's like they're trying to kill him.
You think they'd be like,
So
"Don't be afraid. We're here to help you." It's like,
yeah, it's all like
no,
like
they
this is the reason why.
literally like make him hallucinate and shit. They
Yeah,
think he's about to kill
because
him.
like he gets out of bed because he's thirsty, and then like he goes like water, and then it just like basically like he moves it with his mind to his hand. He doesn't realize it,
Yeah.
and then he drinks it, and then he drops the glass, and then all of a sudden there's like the stuffed animals, like the bear, the bunny, and the car, and then all of a sudden he's like looking up, and then now they're 3 really small versions of the same
Yeah.
animals, and like they're like climbing up,
Climb up
and
on his
he's
pillow
trying
and
to like grab
he
them,
grabs them
and then like there's nothing there,
from there.
and now all of a
And
sudden
you think that's it?
yeah, and then all of a sudden now they're freaking like 50 feet tall in his room, and they're trying to kill him, and he's just like, what the hell is happening? And then he steps on the glass and cuts his foot, and then they're like, oh, blood, what the hell? And then they leave. And it's just
so
like,
funny.
oh, that's gross. Like, let's get out of here. And then they
Yeah,
leave.
like jerk.
Yeah. They start calling him like names.
Yeah. I was watching this
Which also, hold on, I wanted to point this out too. Like, they start secreting milk for some reason.
Yeah, it's so weird. Why?
Like they're all like comprised of different like
Milk?
toys,
Yeah.
and then they start secreting milk
It's like
out of them, and then like the car spits milk at him, and I'm like, what the hell is happening?
what is going on?
And then I was thinking, like, is he having a nightmare? Is this a nightmare sequence? Like, what is happening? But it's like, no, this is actually happening.
Yeah,
like, in his room, this is happening. So,
I mean, it is happening in his mind though, because it's like,
well, yeah,
but like, I was watching this with my girlfriend at the time, and we see the bear come. I was like, oh, is that Freddy Fazbear?
yeah. It's playing the jingle.
Kind of funny, yeah. Because anytime you see a giant bear, it's Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah. Because then he like breaks out of the room.
Yeah.
And then the personnel get the notification like, oh, like, you know, he's like, something's going on in his room.
Yeah.
And they run down, and then he's like outside because he broke the door open and or out and stuff. And they're like, okay, well, you need to get back in your room. And then he just like kills them.
Yeah.
Just like boosh. With his telekinetic abilities, and he's walking down the corridor. He finds like the kid room, basically.
Yeah, the baby room.
Yeah, the baby room. And then they all like are trying to kill him again.
Yeah.
And then he like bashes them out and stuff like that. So now you see the kids that are trying to attack him, and like the 2 boys, they're like trying to gain up on him.
Yeah.
And like they're calling him a cretin and stuff like that. And it's like, again, you're calling him names. He didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Like, and especially for the one kid, it's like, if you think that he was trying to hit you with his motorcycle, you're wrong. You were walking and you just wound up in his path. That's it. So it's like, that's your fault as much as it is his. So there's that. But I just didn't really understand the animosity between the kids and him.
Yeah.
So
that was also really confusing.
But I think that if you read the manga, because I was reading online about this, it's like the manga does the movie more justice.
Yeah.
Like the manga is better than the movie. It's like
because
again,
because it's so rushed.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like it's because that you're not taking parts of this story and you're not putting it together, right? With no context. But you're putting this of course the book always has more detail,
More
than
context,
the movie.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably where it falls lacking in is
it kind of
the context for this stuff. So, but then you've got the colonel, like when Tetsuo like actually leaves, and because like they start talking about Akira and stuff, and because Kaneda gets together with this like
we didn't mention this, but like there's another character that happens earlier in the film, who Kei and Ryu, who they Kaneda finds out about them.
They're
because
like a police group, aren't they, or something?
They're like espionage. I think they're like
or PIs or something.
Yeah, I think they're like spies or something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, the whole reason that Kaneda goes along with them is because Kaneda is kind of flirting with
Kai.
Is it Kei or Kai?
It's Kai.
It's Kai. Okay, I pronounce it differently in the sub, but like he's hitting on her the whole time because she gets caught with them.
Yeah.
That night that the explosion happens, or like something like that. So, and that she gets away because she's working with Ryu, and then kind of follows her.
Yeah.
And then he gets caught up with these like secret people.
Right.
And just like, oh wait, I can help you. I know who the kid is who the government took.
Yeah.
And who's experimenting on. So they sneak in through the sewer. And this whole time they get attacked by a guy on like a hovercraft with a
machine
giant
gun,
a Gatling gun on it.
Yeah.
And then during this whole time, Kaneda learned how to drive. Sorry. Kaneda learns how to drive it because it's similar to his motorcycle.
Yeah.
And then he takes it up an elevator with Kai.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because like the girl with the telekinetic abilities is like telling Kai because she's telling there's like so much stuff going on with all these people.
God.
But like telling Kaneda where to go, and she was like, oh, like go down this corridor, there's a service elevator, blah 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 blah.
It's like,
So
like,
and I thought that was hilarious that like you were saying was like he is able to fit this whole thing in the elevator. It goes up and it zines open, and then like there's these two guards that are sitting there. He goes like, "Put your hands up right now!" Because of course he has the Gatling gun on the freaking hovercraft. So like that was hilarious.
It's like, how did you get this in here?
Yeah, like that to me was hilarious. But like they finally confront Tetsuo
in the baby room. And it's
like,
Tetsuo, what are you doing?
Because they're fighting each other and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
Tetsuo and the kids, they're fighting and stuff, and whatever.
Because he's trying to kill him because they're fucking with him basically. It's
Yeah.
like kind of understandable a little
Right.
bit at first.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, you almost like killed me, made me step on some glass. That really hurt.
yeah. And then one of the things that I liked was like after this, so like Tetsuo leaves because he's able to teleport out of there, which he doesn't understand how, but like he teleports out of there, and the colonel is like walking out, and there's a representative, which I haven't written down, from the Supreme Executive Council, because
the council is trying to control the city right now because everyone's fucking rioting because of the stupid tax reforms, and they're trying to fix it.
Right.
And they kind of don't trust the colonel at this point because he's involved in the project of keeping these 3 telekinetic kids under wraps.
Yeah.
And they're like, these funds could be better used for like actually fixing the problems in the city instead of keeping a kindergarten, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's trying to keep them safe, actually.
Yeah.
Even if it's in like the worst way possible.
Right.
You know.
And because deep down he really cares about these kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I loved when the colonel was walking out and like the guy tells him like, "Yep, like you're stripped of your command, you're fired, like,
and we're here to kill you."
Yeah, and then he goes like, basically, here's the executive decision, and then the colonel just like stands in front of him and goes like, you know what, shoot this man.
At 2400 hours today, the colonel is hereby stripped of his command and rank and shall be placed under arrest.
Shoot him!
Yes, sir. What? No, wait, hold on, no.
Shoot
And
that
so
guy.
somebody actually does it, walks up, shoots him, and then like the other guy that was next to him
Shoots him.
like no, he doesn't shoot anybody. Like he because then they get surrounded.
Oh,
because like they have their own army. Like
I
their
thought the
military
guy. I
police
thought
is what
the
it
guy
was.
who shot the guy with the paperwork gets shot himself.
Yeah, the guy that has the paperwork gets shot.
Yeah, I know, but like the guy who shoots him gets shot.
No.
Did I misremember that?
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious that like that guy shoots the guy with the paperwork, then the
And
guy
then he
who
gets
shot
shot.
him, he gets shot, but then nobody
No.
else gets shot.
No,
Maybe
because
I
like the guy
misremembered
with the
that.
paperwork gets shot, and then he falls, but
He's not
then
dead
no,
either.
he gets shot in the side and stuff. But like, then the colonel basically is telling all the rest of the men, going like, you know, the military police, I was being like, look, we're fighting you need to see the bigger picture here, okay? It's not just like us fighting each other. We need to stop whatever is coming.
We got to catch
So-
up with Tetsuo.
Yeah, and so they're trying to set up a perimeter, like the military is, about like where Tetsuo is going to be.
Because Tetsuo's looking for Akira at
Yeah,
this point. Because he's
'cause
like,
now
he
he's
keeps
all
seeing
like-
Akira in his mind. And he's like, who the hell is this guy?
Who is Akira? Like, what is he about? Like, where is he at and everything?
And they basically tell
And-
him like, oh, he's
well,
underneath the.
he is asking like the girl, like the kid, like where is Akira? And so she's all like, well, I'm not going to tell you anything. And then finds out that like, sorry, just in my microphone
how
here.
does he find out that? 'Cause-
Well, he read her mind.
Oh yeah. He did.
So he read
Oh.
her mind, and then finds out that it's underneath like the
The Special Olympics.
yeah,
no,
the
no,
Special Olympics.
Special Olympics. No,
Not the Special
the
Olympics, but
Tokyo
the
Olympics. Sorry.
yeah, the Tokyo Olympic
Special
Stadium.
Olympics.
And
So that's where he's going this whole time. That's why
Yeah.
they need to stop him, because if he gets there, then he's gonna
he's
like,
gonna find Akira, and
because Akira basically is the entity that started World War III allegedly
then right. And
back in 1988.
yeah, and so he's been in this facility ever since. Like he's been underground,
And so have the kids.
Yeah.
As we'll find out.
right. And for them, it was like, okay, he's making his way out into the city, and there's a tank in it, so it's all like, oh man, it's a kid, like, you're sure that we should shoot him? So they shoot a missile at him, and I thought it was really cool that he like stopped the missile and then it exploded right in front of him. And then this is where he gets his cape, is because like he's
He
next
puts
to
on
a
the
shop, and it's like a curtain, and so he rips off the curtain, so he ties it around his neck. So this is where he gets his cape from.
Which is kind of funny, because it's like he's putting on a cape because he's kind of like a superhero.
Yeah. And like, to me, after watching this, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Chronicle.
Yes, I have
So,
seen Chronicle.
I feel
I was
like
wondering
that-
what that movie was called for the longest time, because I know
Yeah.
it's like I kind of want to talk about Chronicle, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems very inspired by Akira.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these types of movies where it's like one guy with like going up against the military, where he's got like psychic abilities.
Yeah.
Like definitely Akira is definitely inspired shows like Stranger Things. I like to say, like, again, same exact premise.
And it's also interesting because Michael B. Jordan was also in Chronicles as well.
Oh yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
Like very early Michael B. Jordan.
But like other things that have inspired, like again, just like this guy that has been locked up that gets free and then goes on a rampage, basically.
Right. There's so much stuff that's in this movie that they that people would get inspiration from. So like the bike slide, of course, that's just synonymous with pop culture. But other than that, it's like the story of it, the
other two things that I can see reference maybe is like anime like Mob Psycho and Dandadan when it comes to psychic abilities.
but you've also got the thing of it being like body horror type of thing, where it's like the morphine at the end.
When did you might know this, when did Evangelion come out? Evangelion came out after
maybe
in the 90s,
2000s.
Yeah, because like definitely, you could say that Evangelion was inspired. I mean, Akira inspired a lot of different types
Evangelion
of,
was
like,
actually like not even about that or inspiration. It was just like mechs. So that came out in 1995.
yeah, but it has the similar story
So-
of like it's sort of like creepy sort of vibe that Akira has when it comes to like
it's still that grainy looking, like very
Yeah,
futuristic, very like serious like
to serious tone, like
yeah,
sort of like you don't really know what's going on. Sometimes like things are going over your head,
right,
and it's also like violent.
yeah.
So that's what
Like
I
super
mean.
violent,
mostly.
super bloody
So,
and stuff. Yeah. Because then you've got him like just attacking the military.
yeah,
which is
is
great.
cool.
And then getting towards the end of the movie here, it's like the Tetsuo and him fighting, like Tanida.
Yeah.
They're both fighting each other
Kaneda.
and stuff. Yeah, Kaneda. I don't know why the fuck. I look
'Cause
at
you
it
wrote-
at a glance
'cause you
and
wrote
it's
it on
like
your notes.
no, actually I have it written down right, but for some reason, like at a glance,
Because it's like
I see
Tetsuo
it.
and kind of
Yeah.
Tanida. Yeah. Okay.
So, but yeah, like the first time that they fight, because the military shoot at him with these like plasma rifles.
Yeah.
And
Then kind of
like,
gets one.
yeah, so like they miss him, and then they're shooting at the protesters. One of them gets shot in the arm, and it explodes into blood. But then they all go like, okay, focus your attack, and then he's able to like bend the beams around him because he has up like a force field, and stuff, and so like he's able to like basically take them all out. And they before they get to there, they get to the bridge. And that's when they both start fighting each other's like the rubble that's in the bridge and stuff.
Yeah.
And then because he has the plasma rifle and he uses it to like shoot at him, and he's able to get a shot in him, like basically it's supposed to be like that he kills him, but it ran out of juice.
Yeah.
So then he's
he would've
like,
been able to
oh,
get the kill
shit.
shot. Yeah. And also at the same time as Tetsuo is rampaging through the streets, the rioters are also supporting him because they
Yeah,
they
they
like,
think that he's Akira.
they think he's Akira because there's like Akira is just a mythical like legend. No, not mythical, but like he's legend. There's a legend
Yeah.
about Akira that he's the one who started World War III, and when he's going to come back, he's going to basically destroy the world.
Right.
Or destroy the city.
Yeah.
Or at the very least.
Right.
So when people see him, they start like
Right.
rallying behind him. It's like, yeah, we're gonna take down this corrupt city. Like, go get him, Akira. And it's like,
Yeah.
who? And Tesla's like, who? I'm not Akira.
Right.
Doesn't
I'm
really
going to
care,
go
right?
get Akira.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then after that, he actually makes it because like then the military has this thing in space, like a satellite that shoots like a beam.
It's
it cuts off
basically
his arm.
It's basically a hammer of dawn.
Yeah. And
Or
so
like an orbital
and-
laser.
yeah, and so like he loses his arm in the process. He makes it to the stadium now, and he made a like a cybernetic hand,
Yeah, he has a
basically.
cybernetic arm.
And when he's there, his girlfriend finally comes back.
No, there's something that happens before that. Like he gets to the facility where Akira is being kept.
Yeah.
Right. But that
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah, because
He-
then
he- and then
because
he-
then he
he-
makes it to the facility,
and he basically
then-
destroys the underground facility and lifts it up.
Yeah.
And he breaks down the facility basically because it's one big like basically
Pod.
sphere, like a pod.
Yeah.
And he breaks it open and he comes to realize that Akira has been dead.
Yeah.
For decades, for
Right.
3 decades.
And like the colonel tells him over the intercom that like, you know, he's been dead this whole time. That's what you're seeing now is the remnants of Akira.
like like body parts of him, like of his like nervous
it's
system
like yeah,
kept
his nervous
in jars.
system, his brain, like all that bunch of stuff. Like basically his most vital organs is still
Yes.
there. And then we're at the stadium and stuff.
Yeah.
And like his girlfriend finds him and like brings him back to his throne, pretty much, because like he made a throne. For
Well, he was
himself.
there first, but like Kaori finds him sitting there, and his hand is like sort of merging into the throne he's sitting in.
Yeah.
And he's got all the jars of Akira sitting around him.
Right.
And then the colonel shows up and tries to kill him.
Right. And then he ends up like now he's starting to like morph and stuff.
And this is the part of the movie that like really like disturbed me.
Yeah.
Because he tries to grab him and it like comes out of this fleshy cybernetic arm and it's like it's really gross looking.
Oh yeah. Which I thought was awesome because then he starts transforming into like this giant baby, pretty much.
Giant flesh baby. It's like, what is going on right now?
I thought that was hilarious.
And it's like he can't control it. He says he can't.
Like, because now he's at his peak of power.
Yeah.
And now it's like he was under control for his power, but now his power is controlling him. And that's the reason why he started transforming in the first place. And Kaori is now like basically in his flesh, pretty much.
She dies.
Yeah, she dies because then Tetsuo, or not Tetsuo, but Kaneda, he ends up like in the flesh as well.
Because she's still trying to kill him with that laser beam.
Right.
Like,
and then he can hear him now, like Tetsuo, and he goes like, Kaneda, I need your help. Like, please. Like, I can feel Kaori, and like, you know, she's hurt, she's in trouble, and then all of a sudden she like bursts.
Yeah.
Because the flesh starts like caving in on
why
her.
did that not happen to Kaneda or the Colonel?
Right.
Like,
is beyond me.
Yeah,
but plot armor, basically.
Yeah.
But then the kids finally show up, and then they start praying to Akira.
As the flesh thing starts like growing and growing and growing, and it almost consumes them.
And then Akira finally shows up. Like, all the jars break open, they all form together, and then there's
Akira's
Akira
alive again, and then it becomes a black hole.
Yeah, pretty much, because like, well, not necessarily a black hole, it's like a giant another like explosion that's on a nuclear level, and
it's like sucking everything in.
Yeah, and then everything that goes into basically what I would consider as like a giant wormhole is basically like non-existent anymore. So then Tetsuo, Kaneda, the one of the kid, and then eventually the two other kids, they actually like go in there.
Takashi goes in with Kaneda into the explosion
to save him.
Tetsuo. And
no,
then,
to save Kaneda.
Oh, to save Kaneda. Oh, yeah. And then,
because he's still in there. Because he goes like, no, like Kaneda
I think it's Masaru and Kyoko are the other two kids.
I think so.
The kid in the chair is Masaru.
Yeah. But yeah, then they both have the idea of going like, okay, well, anything that goes in there can't come out. And then they're like, well, what if the three of us managed to actually get him out?
It's like, oh, that might work.
And then they actually sacrifice themselves to like basically rescue Kaneda.
And then Kaneda is flying through this wormhole now, basically, and he's basically reliving Akira's
Akira's memories as well as Tetsuo's memories.
So,
and we find out that like Akira and the three kids, they were all together.
Yeah.
And they were being experimented on to like have these psychotelekinetic powers. And then like he's the cause of World War III from happening.
Yes.
That's the reason why the explosion happened, is because of him.
Yeah.
Because he got too powerful and then he died.
Yeah.
So, but then Tetsuo finally gets out, and then he's alive still, and like now Tetsuo's no longer there. And I guess that you could say, because like early on in the movie, Kai, she's telling Kaneda while they're locked up in the facility that like, oh yeah, like pretty much like what stemmed from us stemmed from monkeys, which stemmed from
like
other plants and animals,
like reptiles and fish, and then planktons and amoeba.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and
what
so
happens?
On and so forth, and then up until like she says like, yeah, like what if we are the universe ourselves?
Well, how it was explained in the sub is like, what happens if you give the power of a human to an amoeba?
Right.
That's what's happening to Tetsuo right now. Is that like, yeah, I guess that is kind of what she meant. Is like what if you give the power of the universe to a human being?
Yeah.
And that's what Akira is.
Right. So, and but yeah, and then it just cuts to them, basically Akira and the three kids, they're talking and stuff. And then at the end of it, it's like Tetsuo going like, I am Tetsuo. It's basically a restarting again of the universe.
So the universe restarts. I totally missed
something like that.
I did not understand what was happening at the very end of that.
Because then you've got galaxies forming and stuff.
Oh, so I totally missed that. I just know that like Kaneda and Kai and the other kid who's also in the biker gang.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like before he goes over, Tetsuo goes back to the bar that was the beginning of the film. And he kills the bartender, and then he kills one of his friends. But the other guy gets out.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the other kid's name is.
I don't remember.
But I if that's what happened to the end, I totally blanked on that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Because
really,
that's basically the end of the movie.
my brain basically shut down when I saw the giant flesh baby.
Yeah.
And I was
You're like,
I
what
just,
the fuck is this now?
Like mental reset. So
Yeah, but that's the end of Akira, so not too bad.
yeah.
Again, about an hour, so which we did for the last episode.
Yeah.
So, which now is when we will give a consensus on this being a rent, buy, or a skip. Hence the reason why this is called RBS in the first place. Of course, rent is like I'll occasionally watch it every so often. Buy is like I will buy it. I love it so much I'll have it up on my shelf. And then skip is just don't even waste your time like Snow White.
Well, you can't say that because there's definitely some spectrums of skip. You know, there's like a dead skip,
Yeah.
which is like this movie is terrible, don't even bother. It's like a
Oh, yeah,
skip,
like
which
Snow
is
White.
it's like there's like there's like borderline, you know, like borderline red skip, borderline rent
Yeah.
buy, you know, like stuff like that. Like so to say that like not all skip movies are created equally, you know,
Like Snow White.
it's based on well a skip is like a guaranteed like
Don't waste your time.
yeah, like a 0%,
Yeah.
you know, so
100%. So Snow White.
yeah, so Snow White, yes.
So since this is your first time watching this, I want to get your... So now we're going to flip the scripts. Now I
Yeah.
want to get your perspective on it.
Yeah, because for the last episode, I asked what his was because it's the first time he saw that movie that I suggested. And,
Yes.
So yeah, I think
If you guys want to find out our reactions on Hundreds of Beavers, go watch that too.
the previous episode. I am going to. This is gonna be so boring. I'm gonna go with a rent.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Of Rent.
Yes, I'm gonna go with a rent. I'm gonna go with middle of the road because while the animation style is really good,
Yes.
really holds up after almost at this point 40 years. Akira's gonna be 40 in like 3 years.
Yep.
That's crazy, but like it looks really good for an 80s film,
Right.
especially an 80s animated film. Mm-hmm. The Japanese were way ahead of everybody else. When it
Oh,
came to animation.
100%.
When it comes to like animated movies as well. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's a rent because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't necessarily vibe with. Like
Yeah.
most sci-fi related things for me personally kind of fly over my head sometimes.
Yeah.
For me, it's information overload, and I felt like that there was some of the plot points in this film were a little bit incoherent. I didn't really know what was happening.
Yeah.
At some points until like it was explained to me later on. I can't argue that it wasn't an absolutely influential movie. Like this one paved the way for the popularity of anime itself.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Studio Ghibli definitely also does that as a huge part of like the popularity of anime in the West.
Yeah.
But Akira is one of the catalysts for that. So I have some appreciation for that. But for me, it's just like there's a lot of things that like kind of put me off about like I'm like the body horror stuff there kind
Right,
of
like at the end and
kind of
stuff.
gross.
Yeah.
For me personally, and I can't say that it wasn't what I was expecting because I went in expecting nothing.
Yeah.
My first time seeing it, but like I thought it was okay. I thought I mean like the story wise.
Well, for like, yeah, your first watch
like I
and
said,
stuff.
Yeah, maybe I'll have a more appreciation when I go back and watch for it. Maybe I'll watch it in the dub this time.
Yeah.
And maybe see if I can pick up on stuff that I missed. But like my first time watching it, it was okay. I'll give it a rent.
Okay.
I'll watch it occasionally, but like
Yeah.
personally, I wouldn't go out and keep this movie for myself.
Yeah. For me, I would say that it is a buy. Fuck yeah! Because obviously I bought it, not
Yeah.
just once but twice. Because this doesn't have a digital code with it. It's just the movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the DVD. So I bought the digital, and then I saw that the steelbook was out, so I bought the steelbook as well. So I double dipped.
Yeah.
So but yes, I would say that it's a buy, just because of the fact that still to this day, it is still my top 5 favorite anime movies of all time.
Are you talking about specifically Japanese animation or animated film?
Not animated, like Japanese specific
Japanese
animation.
specifically.
Yeah, like Japanese specific.
Where would it rank
animation.
in your animated films of all the animated films?
Animated, like overall?
Yes. Yeah. Top 10?
Probably top 10.
Top 10? Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely top 5 in my most favorite anime movies of all time. Spirited Away being number 1. Mm-hmm. So, which I'll probably say that we'll talk about that for anime. But yeah, I mean, just like it's a little boring at times, but like what movie isn't, you know? Like it still has really good animation, like you said,
yes.
just to piggyback off of like your
the animation
things.
is its strongest point.
Yeah,
I would say.
And like the colors to it, the story to it is also really good. I feel like that if you were to read the manga, it would also like punch it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't really have much context for this film.
Same. I never read the manga because I keep forgetting that this is based off of the manga.
Yeah.
And then like they decided to make the movie for it. But overall, it's a really solid movie. It's definitely give it a watch if you haven't seen it. Like Jack said it himself, like this is his first time watching it and he really enjoyed it. So, well, especially for like what you had to go off of.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'll say that it was a unique experience.
Right.
I can't say that this is not worth your time. It certainly was worth your time, especially if you like animated films. I
mean, like then you've also got like the power struggle between the military and them. And then you've got Tetsuo, who's like has these newfound powers, and now he's trying to take control. But the other thing too is like with Tetsuo, he grew up in a basically like foster home.
Yeah.
Or not foster home, but like foster care system. And he was always picked on. That's the reason why that he wanted to get as much power as he could.
Yeah.
Is because that he wanted to confront Akira so that way he could probably also take control of him or his powers or something like that. I don't know. But like for that, it's like he wanted power because he's never had power before.
Yes.
So he's always had Kaneda take care of him and watch out for him and stuff. And then especially when they first confront each other, he was all like, oh, like, I forgot that you were even there. Like, how does that make you feel? Type of thing. So
yeah, I definitely need to give this movie another shot in the dub because watching in the sub, there's certain some emotional beats that I missed.
Right.
Because I was too busy trying to focus on like what was
actually happening.
Yeah. So like
definitely, I would say like you can watch it off of my account and stuff like that. So like that way that you can actually watch it and dissect it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, like it still holds up to this day. The animation's really good. Story's really good. The characters are done really well. Could have been fleshed out a little bit more, but between doing the manga and the movie at the same time, I understand what was going on. Having that background for it now. But no, all in all, just to say that it's a buy.
It will certainly put people off who are not used to watching anime.
Yeah.
So like if you've never seen anime before, and if you watch this movie, you'll probably be very confused at certain things. I mean, not to say that like there's certainly more confusing animated films. Like
100%.
because this is it adds a little bit of cushion to the broader understandability, if that's even a word, for being sci-fi.
Yeah.
Right? It's in the future, so like it's not like
it's a sci-fi movie that has
society
people
is
in it too.
Back at that time or even now. So it's like an alternate future, so you can see a little bit of different type of storytelling.
Yeah.
I guess my recommendation is if you're hardcore consumer of anime and stuff like that, and you're like a sub purist, then watch it in the sub.
Yeah.
But if you're a first time viewer of this movie, if you do have a little bit of background with anime, I would definitely watch it in the dub because I'm almost positive that like I would have probably had a better experience in watching it in the dub.
Yeah.
But the only version I had at the time was the sub of the time of watching it.
Because like
so.
there's and of course this just goes across the board with like all anime in general. It's like people will argue like, oh well, the dub is better. No, the sub is better. And it's like I had friends back in high school when anime was becoming more relevant, right?
Yeah.
Before it was now. And it's like I would have friends that would learn Japanese just so that way they could watch just the Japanese version of the anime. So not it being subtitled, not it being dubbed over in English, but literally just seeing it for the first time in Japanese. So
okay. I guess it's like the sub versus dub argument in any sort of anime. It comes down to personal preference, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, it just comes to personal
voice
stuff.
acting performance as well.
Yeah,
that plays a huge role in whether you watch something sub or dub. Because like personally, I watch Dragon Ball in the dub because I just like the dub voice actors more than the sub voice actors.
100%.
And
like sometimes for subbed and dubbed is like, okay, yeah, it sounds cooler when they say something in the subbed version, but they have a lot more of emotion conveyed in the English version though.
Like another example is like I will only watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the sub.
Yeah.
Is because of copyright issues.
Yeah.
Because certain things in that show are based off of musical references and stuff like that, and they can't say the actual names of those things in the dub because of copyright issues.
Yeah.
But they say it in the sub because they can get away because it's a different language.
Yeah.
So I will watch it only in the sub because the dub pisses me off.
And there's also certain times to when it's like an anime, they won't ever have it dubbed because the creator doesn't want it to be dubbed over. And it's like Gintama. My friend, like years ago, it was his favorite show, and he was talking about it, and he goes like, they will never have it dubbed, so you have to watch it when it's subtitled because they will never have it dubbed over. And I go like, oh, okay.
And there's also
because there's too much going around. And like there's too many people talking all at once, so like they're not going to be able to have all this stuff convey like correctly and stuff.
Like it's also like how much effort do you want to put into watching something?
Yeah.
Because with the subtitles, you have to have your full attention. Oh yeah. Because it's not a language.
You have to read.
You can't understand what they're saying unless you see the translated subtitles.
Yeah.
So it's more of like high, if you want to like have low effort when watching anime, watch it in the dub, so you don't have to focus on subtitles. But if you want to get like fully immersed into what you're doing, you don't mind having to focus your attention on something. But people who are ADHD, I understand completely. Yeah. Who you don't want to be, if you have your like
attention
mind,
everywhere
else, like watching the dub would probably be preferable.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll probably give Akira another shot when I watch it in the English version, and see how it hits.
Right.
But in the subtitle, like I thought it was just okay.
Okay.
So,
good. Yeah.
Like the animation again, really good for the time, being in the 1980s.
Yeah.
But the story, I just need another go at it just to see if I can like pick up on some stuff that I maybe missed and like I missed this the first time. That makes more sense now. So
right. And then we'll move on to suggestive people here. So what we do is that I will take 1 or 10 or even sometimes both star review on IMDb, and then we'll have an open discussion topic about it. So this one I have is just a 1-star rating back from 2000. So few years after
12
release.
years specifically.
Yeah. So they said that I find this movie grossly overrated. The problem I had with this movie is that it came off as a plotless mess with very superficial characters. I'll admit it was well animated, but there was nothing to make me want to see it again, nor recommend it to anyone else. I think the reason it is so highly acclaimed is that when it was released to the West, it was so fresh to viewers, equating animation with Disney, that it automatically became good. I think it gets 1.5 stars.
It's like, again, he's giving the animation the credit, but like to say that it's plotless, it's not plotless.
It's not plotless,
it's
but
not,
it does lose, I would probably say, people's attention. Like,
yeah, I would say that. Like it's
points.
not incoherent. You can still pick up on what's happening.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does go. It is a little bit rushed at sometimes, but that's because they cut it down because it's originally a 100 chapter manga, so they had to condense it down into 2 hours. So.
I mean, like, given the fact that we have now what was going on, of being like, yeah, you know, like the director was doing the manga and the movie at the same time, but he was taking certain points from the manga into the movie, so it's like some characters aren't really that fleshed out a whole lot, and all this bunch of stuff. It's like, okay, that makes sense. But given that context, it's like, okay, now that makes sense for the movie of how accurate it was. So, but like I said, probably I would read the manga like myself at some point, just so that way I get all the context and stuff and backstory and whatever. So, but yeah, I don't know. But no, I would definitely say that their opinion is wrong.
Yes, they
because all they had to go off of was like the animation. That's it. So not really the story, because they said it was plotless. So
very like taking shots at Japan a little bit. There is like when they came to the West, is like people who are associated with Disney. Like, what's wrong with? I mean, it's just different, a different style. Yeah, it's like people were. It's new, but like that doesn't make it. Just like the animation is not the only thing that's saving it, you know?
Right. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, definitely that their opinion is wrong.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to see a 10-star review.
10-star?
Yeah, real quick. Just because that I had a sort of middle of the road opinion, and you had like a, because I know like usually we only do 1-star reviews if we both think the movie was a buy, right? But like I was interested to see what people were saying that is really good about. I know what you said, but like I want to see what other people say about
the movie.
Yeah, Akira, like a 10-star review.
10-star review, which they said the one and only anime classic, and they just had up 10 classic. I'd probably say like number 10 classic. When I first grabbed the cover box for Akira off the shelves of my local video store, I had never heard the word manga, a Japanese comic book. This is also back in 2005. Nor anime.
I could tell that from just the term grabbed off the shelves of the video store.
Yeah. Nor anime, quote unquote, and then they had in parentheses, Japanation, for that matter.
Animation.
Back then, I would give that movie a 9. Excellent. Which, since it was like nothing I had ever seen before, was truly graphic violence, but was still a bit too long and too hard to understand. 10 years later, having watched a slew of other anime productions, I would have given this movie an 8. Very good. From memory, had I not seen it again yesterday. After seeing Akira for the first time in the original Japanese language, I have come to fully appreciate its culture and artistic merit.
But, so give it an 8.
Right.
Person gave it a 10.
Yeah. The person gave it a 10-star, but then they went from a 9 to an 8.
9-star to an 8-star when you first saw it in... Oh, my God.
So here's like another short one, and then we'll call this an episode. So they said it was insane, original and dark film that will sit with you long after it concludes. Visually stunning film that leaves most films for dead. Cerebral filmmaking that is still one of the most interesting animes ever created. I'm happy I found this and sad it took so long. This deserves all the recognition it gathered, and a loyal film adaptation might interest me in 2021. That's only if the film is made, of course. So this was actually a more recent one made in 2019.
Wasn't there a live-action remake of Akira, or no?
I don't think so. I never heard about it.
I would be.
I don't think so. I think that it was still like in development.
I'm surprised there hasn't been one. With the 80s nostalgia craze.
Yeah. It just says that it's in development. That's it.
Oh.
So, but yeah, it's just planned, so it's not really for sure. So
I wouldn't
don't
be
know.
surprised if it comes out in like the next couple of years, because we all know that like we love to make remakes of films that are grossly popular, and
yeah,
like, you know, Netflix did One Piece live action, so
I don't know. I think it would be really interesting to see it in live action, of how they would go about doing it.
It would probably have to be heavily like CGI, you know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Especially the last parts.
So, but anything else on Akira for you?
No, we basically covered it all. So
awesome. So thank you all so much for watching and tuning in and listening. You guys can find us on YouTube, which you guys can leave a like and a comment in the comment section below about what movie that you guys want us to talk about. Be sure to share this with other people. You can share with your dog, your cat, your mom, your dad, your grandpa, your grandpa.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
Other people, like especially for this month where it's anime. If you guys love anime, leave us a comment section below. Also, what movie you guys want us to talk about as well, and all that fun stuff. But be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. It really means a lot to us. Which, by the way, I completely forgot about this. We have 21 subscribers now.
Ooh.
So we're old enough to drink. So let's go. Andy was the 21st, so he forgot to subscribe.
Let's see if we can get that number up to 100, you know?
Well, let's start off small. If we can get to 25, we'll do something pretty cool.
Okay.
I don't know. So, yeah, I want to keep the show growing. I want to keep it going. So I thank everybody that does watch and does tune in and all that fun stuff. But definitely get the viewership up. Share the hell out of this podcast. Share the hell out of this video too. And I mean, like, you know, I'm always growing this channel. Like, I'm always doing some more stuff with it. I'm always trying to come up with new things. So, definitely appreciate you guys tuning in and everything like that. From the bottom of my heart, from a weird kid that wanted to actually make this a reality, I'm actually doing it, but I would love to get it more love from you guys, especially. Because, of course, we can't do this without you. So, with that being said, be sure to check us out on other social media, and we'll see you guys in the next episode next week. So, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.